I am a lonely man, a sick man, broken, shrunken, and silent in a small, stifling room, where the walls press inward. Heavy with the secrets of my failures, something inside me feels cracked. Maybe it's my liver, swollen from years of quiet damage. Maybe it's my heart, worn out from its steady, mechanical beat. But most likely, it's that nameless place where hope once lived. Now it's hollow, like a well run dry, its bottom coated in dust. I am 31, though I've started telling people I'm 43. The lie slips out so easily now. I almost believe it myself. 31 feels too young for this kind of exhaustion. Do I want pity from strangers, or do I just need my weariness to feel earned, legitimate, worthy of its own weight? Life moves slowly now, dull and indifferent. Each day drags into the next like a clock that ticks, but never chimes. My existence feels mechanical, a series of repetitive motions. Wake, breathe, exist. Whatever light I had is gone, dimmed, like a dying candle. I tell myself it's fine, that emptiness is normal, even logical. But then I catch myself in a lie, and the contradictions tear at me until I wonder if there's anything left of who I used to be. I live in what I call a room, but it's really just a box, 8 feet wide, 10 feet long. The walls feel warped, leaning inward like they're tired of standing. The bed is narrow, barely enough to hold me, as if mocking the idea that I need rest. The single window shows nothing but a sky, stained with smoke, a reminder of the city's endless hunger for dreams. This place wasn't built for living. It was built to strip away dignity, to remind me that survival is all I get. I don't try to make it feel like home. That's for people who still believe in their lives, who think tomorrow might be better than today. My things lie where they fell. Books with cracked spines sit untouched, their stories forgotten. Shirts lie in a heap on the floor, because wearing them would mean I have somewhere to go. Papers are piled up, their edges yellowing, reminding me of the person I thought I'd become. This room feels like a storage closet for my failures, with every object reminding me of the life I've let slip away. The air here is thick and stale. In summer the room becomes an oven, baking away whatever humanity I have left. Sweat pools at the base of my neck, soaking into the pillow. The air refuses to move. In winter the radiator clanks and hisses, giving just enough heat to keep me from freezing, but the cold still seeps into my bones. Everything here is measured. Light, air, space. Just enough to keep me breathing, but never enough to make me feel alive. Above my bed, the ceiling is marked with water stains, stains that have spread over the years. They've become a map I know too well. To the left is the sea of regret, dark and endless, swallowing everything it touches. In the middle is the mountain of forgotten promises, a pile of broken dreams stacked so high it's starting to crumble under its own weight. And in the furthest corner, small as a secret I'm ashamed to keep, shrinks the island of childhood dreams. Each time I look, it's smaller. One day, it will disappear completely, and I'll have nothing left to mourn. Most nights, I lie awake, staring at the stains on the ceiling as the hours drag on. I can't help but feel like they're growing, slowly spreading across the surface, just like my disappointments have spread across the years. Each stain feels like a reminder, a broken hope, or an abandoned dream, creeping further and further, taking over more space in my mind. These marks of decay have become my only guide, the only thing I can look to in the stillness of the night. They're the only sky I know now, the only version of heaven I can believe in. My eyes trace the lines, over and over, following them like roads on a map. I search for a way out, some kind of escape, but no matter how hard I look, the map always leads me back to the same place, right here, stuck where I started. At night, the building groans, like an aging beast, its structure straining under the weight of its neglected tenants and their quiet despair. The walls are so thin, they seem built to carry suffering from one room to the next. Through them I hear fragments of other lives. My neighbour coughs endlessly, the sound dry and uneven, like a machine breaking down. Sometimes I hear him crying, a raw, guttural sound that presses against my chest, heavy and suffocating. His pacing mirrors mine, the same 8 feet back and forth, as if we're both trying to wear down the floor beneath us, searching for an escape that doesn't exist. Other nights, the sounds shift. A sudden crash, sharp and metallic, breaks the stillness, followed by a muffled curse. Someone down the hall mutters into a phone, their words sharp and desperate, cutting through the quiet. And then there's a crying, a high, piercing wail that threads through the corridor before vanishing, leaving only questions about where it came from. But it's the silences that are the hardest to bear. They're not empty. They're packed with the weight of dreams that didn't happen, and the quiet acceptance of settling for less. It's not just a void. It's a reminder of what was lost along the way. My neighbour's voice, low and hoarse, carries through the wall. In those moments I press my hand against the wall that separates us. I think about knocking, about asking if he's okay, about letting him know I hear him. My hand hovers there, trembling, before I pull it back. What would I even say? That I understand, that I'm drowning too. We live next to each other, each in our own separate boxes, like cages we built ourselves. The walls don't just separate us, they keep us stuck. There are no locks, no bars, just the weight of everything we've stopped wanting and stopped believing we could have. Sometimes I wonder if he hears me too. The clatter of my clumsy attempts at making coffee, the half-hummed tunes I abandon when I remember there's no joy left to hum for, the muffled sobs I bury in my pillow, like a man who's forgotten how to grieve properly. This building feels like a vertical graveyard, each floor holding people who are alive, but not really living. We're all stuck here, side by side, hoping for change, but knowing deep down it never will. There was a time when I used to hum. People hum when they're happy, and sometimes even when they're not. I hummed while walking, working, waiting, little wordless tunes that bubbled up without me even thinking about it. They broke the silence, a simple way to fill the stillness. It was effortless, like breathing. Even on the hardest days, I could hum. It wasn't much, but it was mine, a reminder that some part of me was still alive. But now, it's gone. My throat feels tight, like the music inside me has been locked away. When I try to remember what it felt like to hum, all I find is a deep, empty void. That's unsettling. It's not just silence, it's worse. It's an emptiness that swallows sound before it even begins. Day by day, I feel myself fading, like a plant left too long in the shade, its leaves thinning and curling in on themselves. The music is gone, and with it, a part of me I can't seem to get back. In the corner, tucked into the shadows, sits a small metal box, my mother's old lunchbox. It's battered, with a dented lid and a rusted handle, but it's still holding together. Somehow, it feels heavier than it should, like it's carrying more than just its contents. I remember the day she gave it to me, the morning I left the village. The metal was cold in my hands, and the latch clicked shut with a sound that seemed to echo. "Take this," she said, placing it firmly in my hands. "It's not much, but it's yours. It'll remind you where you come from." Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled just enough for me to notice. Now, it feels like a piece of another world, one I can't go back to. I know what's inside, small things from a life I've tried to leave behind, but I haven't opened it in years. Sometimes I reach for it, but I always stop. What if opening it changes something? Or worse, what if it reminds me of a version of myself I don't want to face? So it just sits there, waiting. It doesn't demand anything, but I can't ignore it. Every day it feels a little heavier, like it's holding all the things I've tried to forget. It's not just a lunchbox anymore. It's a quiet reminder of everything I've left behind. The bulb above me hums quietly, its weak yellow light barely stretching to the edges of the room. The air feels dense, heavy, as though it's slowly running out. I sit by the window, straining to catch the faint sound of my neighbor's footsteps. Funny how even that small, distant noise feels like a kind of companionship.